Destiny 2, one of the most anticipated and highly rated games, is about to become free to play, but no one seems to care. So why is Destiny 2 such a letdown? Welcome to Hari's Hobbies. The first problem was that a lot of people felt that you only got half the content when you bought Destiny 2. There has always been a lot of controversy about DLCs and if game creators should keep content away from gamers and then demand an extra fee. But a lot of Destiny 2 players say that it's not just extra content, but actually half the game. I wouldn't say that they are entirely wrong, as you have to buy the DLC to actually finish the main game. On top of this, you can't reach many locations where you can farm gears and materials. You can't even access many events that require the DLC. And from the events, you can only get engrams, not actual items, and this is very frustrating for many Destiny 2 players. And when you're looking at the price of the full game, it's a lot higher than any single retail game. Originally, you had to pay $40 to $50 for the base game and $40 more for the DLC, so in total that's $80 to $90. Evidently, prices have come down significantly since launch due to the uproar in the gaming community. Even now, many players are very annoyed that you had to pay for things that were free in the original game. Now, I think everyone understands that game companies are businesses and that they are trying to make money. Players aren't asking for a free game like Fortnite, they simply want a game that only has a one-time fee at the beginning of $40 to $60. They don't want to make micro purchases within the game to unlock things that were previously free. And the thing is, Destiny 2 Vanilla has a lot less to offer when compared to the original Destiny. Players came off of getting over 1,000 hours of playtime from the original Destiny, and here, after 200 hours, they would pretty much be done with the entire game. Players' expectations were very high after the original Destiny, and Destiny 2 simply could not fulfill them. And the next problem was that the game really wasn't that engaging. It's not necessarily that the story was bad, but that it was very unintriguing and cliché. It wasn't very meaningful and doesn't leave a lasting impression. The only significant thing that even takes place is that you lose a character that no one really cared about in the first place. And at the end, you end up right back to where you started. It is also heavily scrutinized for having shallow characters, forgettable narratives, and tedious mission structures. Critics do agree that there are some good portions, but they also agree that the vast majority of the game, like 95% plus, is pretty bad. The one saving grace for Destiny 2's storyline is that it is a lot better than the original Destiny storyline. As for the original Destiny, critics say that doesn't even have a story in the first place. But just because Destiny 2's storyline is better than the original Destiny doesn't make it good, and Destiny 2 really struggles to build upon the interesting premise that it has set for itself. As for the mission structures, they're not too difficult and the ending is dramatically anticlimactic. You assemble 3 Guardian leaders who help you smuggle yourself into a giant space laser. And then when you get there, you take out a goal, return to Earth, and you live happily ever after. Okay, honestly, it's not that bad, but there could have been so much more and that's what Destiny fans were looking for. Maybe other Guardians could get their own light back. Maybe you could assemble your own militia. Or at the very least, you could at least be forced to work harder to actually steal weapons and gather supplies. But unfortunately, none of this was actually there. And this all led to a pretty stale single player campaign. You don't just get RPG games for the single player experience, there's also a pretty good multiplayer experience, so how was that? Well, the online experience was also pretty disappointing due to another whole slew of issues. Certain weapons were often overpowered and matches were unbalanced. You usually knew right off the bat if you were going to win or lose, and this really took out the spirit of winning and trying. And this made the matches incredibly boring as there was no chance for the underdog to win. You always won by a landslide or lost by a landslide, it was never really that close. And you have to use the meta weapons or else you really have no chance. And it's not just the gameplay that was flawed, there's also several internal issues as well. Server latency, not lag, is notoriously bad with Destiny 2, and this is why it often seems like opponents are shooting you through walls. And there have been several complaints about melee hit registration. Apparently melee sometimes glitches through the enemy and doesn't even register. On top of this, online gameplay is heavily limited by Bungie. You can't even choose what game mode you want to play, supremacy or control. and most people agree that Destiny 2 maps seem kinda small. In the end, the online experience is not much better than the single player experience. With Destiny 2, Bungie really ignored the core gamer and went after casual gamers and tried to make Destiny 2 an esports game. And there's a fundamental problem to this. You can't have a game that's an RPG and also an esports shooter at the same time. There's simply a lot of differences between shooters and RPGs, and as a result, Bungie removed a lot of the RPG features from the game. They stripped and scaled down skill trees, mashed power differences between different weapons, and toned down the in-game perk system. All of this makes the game much easier and much more appealing to casual RPG gamers. But this is not their core audience and made them lose a lot of their main fans. The problem is that the community for Destiny 2 is more of a player versus environment RPG community. It is not a player versus player shooter game, and this change was not welcomed by most people who bought Destiny 2. The game was extremely unrewarding if you played it as a loot-based RPG. And considering that most people who play the game play it as a loot-based RPG, this did not make the main audience very happy at all. And if you haven't noticed already, the main reason that Destiny 2 failed was not because it was a bad game, but because it was a bad Destiny game. As a standalone game, it could actually be pretty good as it appeals to a vast amount of people. But the thing is, most of Destiny's audience is previous Destiny players, and as a result, this was very disappointing for them. To sum up in one sentence, Destiny 2 is a decent game. It's just not the game that Destiny veterans were looking for or wanted to play as a community. And this underlying issue is what led to all those other complaints, like having to pay for the other half of Destiny 2. If Destiny 2 offered an experience that was much more similar to the original Destiny, this problem would not be as big of a complaint. And trivial issues like server latency and boring single player maps wouldn't even surface. Instead, players would be praising the much superior storyline and overlook the smaller maps. They would have accepted Destiny 2 as not the best, but as a great sequel improving upon Destiny 1. The problem was that Destiny 2 was more of a different game based on the same characters than a sequel off of the original Destiny. And this is what left many players unhappy, and many of them couldn't pinpoint this as the issue. And they went along listing all of these other issues, which really wasn't the core problem. But this is the real reason that players didn't reciprocate well with Destiny 2. So, what about the future of Destiny 2? Can Destiny 2 make a comeback, especially when it is offered for free? Wait, so what is even happening with this free thing in the first place? Well, when the major expansion pack lands on September 17th, the core game will become free. It's called Destiny 2 New Light and includes all Year 1 content, including foundational modes, rewards, and activities. Clearly, Bungie's plan is to lure in casual gamers and get them hooked onto Destiny, but will this work? Unfortunately, I don't think so. They've already offered Destiny 2 for free for a limited time last year on PC, and that really didn't boost the interest in the game. Now granted, PC gamers tend to be more serious, and as a result, they probably got Destiny 2 already if they wanted it. So, will introducing this game to casual gamers on PS4 and Xbox One who mainly play games like 2K and FIFA be effective? This definitely could renew interest, but I don't think that these casual gamers will stick around for that long. They might try it out and generate some revenue for Bungie, but I don't really think they can build a solid fan base off of these people. And the thing is, it's almost been 2 years since the game came out, and as a result, everyone who is truly interested in the game probably already got it, especially with the recent price drops. So I really don't think that offering it for free is really going to expand its reach. I think it's already past the point of trying to revive Destiny 2. Destiny 2 is simply dead. But that doesn't mean that the Destiny community is dead. They are still out there and strong. I really believe that instead of trying to promote Destiny 2 to casual gamers, Bungie should really focus on developing a Destiny 3 that really tends to core gamers. They should really focus on catering to what their main audience is looking for instead of trying to attract the masses. And this is what I think can really save the series, not offering the game for free and going after casual gamers once again. Destiny was a game that many fans really adored, and as a result, Destiny 2 was very highly anticipated. And based on outstanding early reviews, fans had really high expectations. But while Destiny 2 may have been a good game and maybe even better than the original Destiny, it had nothing that Destiny fans were looking for, and it seemed like they were chasing after a completely different demographic that failed to materialize. And this was the main reason for their downfall. Now they're trying to offer the game for free, but most of the hype surrounding Destiny 2 has already died down. And I really don't think that this is going to give Bungie the results that they're looking for with Destiny 2. Hopefully, eventually Bungie will realize where they went wrong with Destiny 2 and offer Destiny 3 that fans simply cannot resist, but until then, we can only wait. But that's all I have for you guys on why Destiny 2 failed. Make sure to comment down below what you would like me to cover next. Also, if you guys like this video, then make sure to drop a like and consider subscribing if you'd like to see more videos just like this one. But until then, I'm Hari, and I'll see you guys on the next one.